supporters of the 83-year-old peace icon chanted and prayed at the Buddhist shrine in mountainous Dharamsala, where the Dalai Lama established a government in exile after fleeing a deadly Chinese crackdown in Tibet in 1959. Devotees in the Indian hill station the Dalai Lama has called home for 6 decades waved Tibet's colorful snow lion flag, which China has outlawed as a symbol of separatism. Some had "Free Tibet" painted on their faces along with the colors and distinct golden sun of the iconic flag. 60 years we've been in exile. Still, our struggle is young and fresh and strong, so we can give a message to China that until Tibetans remain, our struggle will never end. The Dalai Lama himself was not present at the anniversary ceremony, but chief representatives of the exiled Tibetan administration and foreign dignitaries gathered for the solemn occasion. Performers dressed in traditional attire danced and recited Tibetan songs at the temple for guests, which organizers said included parliamentarians from 10 nations. A minute's silence was held at the outset to remember those killed when China brutally crushed the fledgling Tibetan revolt, a crackdown the government in exile claimed killed tens of thousands. Call for dialogue. Buddhist Tibet, a vast Himalayan area of plateaus and mountains, declared independence from China in the early 20th century, but Beijing took back control in 1951, having sent in thousands of troops. The Dalai Lama, chosen at the age of 2 in 1937 as the 14th incarnation of Tibetan Buddhism's supreme religious leader, was enthroned as head of state after the Chinese invasion. Thousands of his supporters assembled at his summer palace to prevent him from leaving, thousands more demonstrated in Lhasa to demand the Chinese depart, the Dalai Lama would later say. Beijing sent more troops into Tibet, and in the bloodshed that followed, refugees poured over the border into Dharamsala, already then a sanctuary for Tibetan exiles fleeing Chinese repression. There he formed a government in exile and demanded autonomy for Tibet, a decades-long quest that would earn him worldwide respect as a figure of nonviolence. He won the Nobel Prize in 1989. He remains a thorn in the side to China, which adamantly rejects any suggestion of Tibetan autonomy and blacklisted the Dalai Lama as a dangerous separatist. Beijing continues to be accused of political and religious repression in the region, but insists Tibetans enjoy extensive freedoms and that it has brought economic growth. If China earnestly believes that cooperation can bring more peace, it should renew dialogue with the envoys of His Holiness Dalai Lama, Lobsang Sangay, President of the Tibetan government in exile.